Where is Melania was a question asked constantly when Donald Trump was on the campaign trail, and of course it's bled into his time as president. And the answer has often been, but we just got an answer, and it is humiliating for Donald Trump because his alleged wife has been working behind the scenes on an issue that he just can't seem to get right. And again, it is humiliating. We are going to get into it all and what it means for the war in Ukraine, because yes, that's what Melania has been working on. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into this big announcement that has Donald Trump looking like the idiot he is, I want to start with Senator Chris Murphy, who called out Donald Trump's supposed shift on his policy around Ukraine in this clip right here.
If you look at what he said at the UN, it was very careful, right? He said he thinks Ukraine can win with Europe's help, not with the help of the United States. But I also think his Ukraine policy is just who was in the room last. So what he said, here in New York was helpful and positive for Ukraine. But next week he'll be attacking Zelensky as a corrupt dictator. The real bottom line here is that he hasn't actually done anything to help Ukraine. Ukraine is going to run out of money and weapons at the end of this year. He's refusing to put a new funding package before Congress. There's a sanctions bill that enjoys Republican and Democratic support that would start to ratchet pressure up on Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump alone is blocking that bill from consideration in the United States Senate. So I guess it was good for Ukraine what he said this week, but he'll say something hurtful and harmful next week, and you got to actually put some action where the words are, and we just haven't seen that.
We cannot trust what Donald Trump says, especially when this shift came pretty timely, in a nice timely fashion, as Donald Trump decided he was going to start lobbying for the Nobel Peace Prize, saying that he's getting close to a deal with Ukraine. It was also after Putin made him look like a fool, and I think everyone recognized that Donald Trump looked like a fool. It's also important to keep in mind, as we are about to see soon with this Melania announcement, with this breaking secret news, that Donald Trump is not a part of these negotiations. Remember when he had his peace summit with Putin in Alaska, and it was reported that the meeting had to be completely changed, that Marco Rubio, that Steve Witkoff had to be in the room with Trump, that they couldn't do a one-on-one. Why? Well, because Donald Trump's a fucking moron. Pudding is leaking out of his brains. He's not a master negotiator. He didn't write the book on negotiation. Someone literally wrote it for him. We don't talk about that enough. So no, Donald Trump is not part of any peace deal that he's going to brag about, and he made that pretty clear in the post that he made about Ukraine just a few weeks ago, and a clip as well that's very important context before we get into the Melania humiliation. Donald Trump wrote of Ukraine after getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia. I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where the war started is very much an option. Why not? Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. When the people living in Moscow and all the great cities, towns, and districts all throughout Russia find out what is really going on with this war, the fact that it's almost impossible for them to get gasoline through the long lines that are being formed, and all of the other things that are taking place in their war economy, where most of their money is being spent on fighting Ukraine, which has great spirit and only getting better, Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form, and who knows, maybe even go further than that. Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and Trump continued in this clip.
This side can fight too, and they've proven that. Maybe it's it could be that Russia's a paper tiger. I don't know what they are, but 3.5 years of fighting and killing everybody, and killing 7,000 people a week.
Trump admitting that he is just now, in the past couple of weeks, gotten a real good grasp on the military and economic conditions of this war is the biggest self-report in history. He said, well, I'm a big, dumb, stupid dummy, and I just now, quite frankly, started paying attention because my brain doesn't work too well, and my security reports, they have pictures of elephants and fun and fireworks. It's like, yeah, we get it, Donald. We know that Fox was putting together your security briefings because you need pyrotechnics and cartoons to pay attention, but he just exposed himself as the complete idiot that he is, unable to find a conclusion, a peace deal, because he doesn't understand what's happening. And that is why Melania, in her recent announcement, is humiliating to Trump. Melania has been secretly working with Putin for months. First Lady Melania Trump made a rare formal announcement from the White House on Friday where she revealed that she has been engaged in secret talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The First Lady said that due to ongoing efforts, 8 children separated during the war in Ukraine have now been reunited, thankfully, with their families, and she said the work continues. Trump said that her dialogue with Putin has been ongoing since she sent him a letter in August. The president first revealed the letter she had written to the Russian leader on Truth Social, which was hand-delivered to Putin during his summit with Trump in Alaska. Since President Putin received my letter last August, he responded in writing, signaling a willingness to engage with me directly and outlining details regarding the Ukrainian children residing in Russia, the First Lady said Friday. Since then, President Putin and I have had an open channel of communications regarding the welfare of these children. She continued. Trump said that for the past 3 months, both the U.S. and Russia participated in several back-channel meetings and calls. We have agreed to cooperate with each other for the benefit of all people involved in this war, Trump said. Melania Trump, of course. My representative has been working directly with President Putin's team. The negotiations between the First Lady and Russia to successfully reunite the 8 children with their families have been one of the few successful outcomes to emerge from the president's high-stakes meeting with Putin in Anchorage. Trump said on Friday that of the 8 children, 3 were separated from their parents and displaced to Russia because of frontline fighting, while the other 5 were separated from their families across borders because of the conflict. The First Lady said that the U.S. verified the identity and circumstances of each of the children. So let's be frank. Let us be clear. Melania Trump is a despicable person because she has attached herself and supports Donald Trump. That doesn't mean I can't say the work that she just did, excellent, while also acknowledging that Donald Trump is so fucking stupid, so fucking inept, so weak and ineffective that he has done nothing and his wife is more successful at negotiating. That is humiliating. Not because Melania Trump is Donald Trump's wife, but because he says he is the master negotiator, the deal maker. But Melania had to go in there and hold his hand. The man who just now says that he's getting educated about the war he has been talking nonstop about for 3.5 years, that he said he wouldn't have allowed to happen, that he would have stopped on day 1, that he would have stopped 24 hours within his presidency, a week into his presidency, a month into his presidency. Oh, it's 2 weeks away when we finally finish this thing. It took Melania, that's who it took. That's what it took to get anything done. The master deal maker couldn't get anything done. It took Melania. Like, that's insane. That is insane. That Donald Trump wants to pretend he's the big, strong, tough guy, that everyone bends the knee, all the world leaders. Oh, Donald, we fear you so much. Do you know how little they fear him? They have more respect for Melania Trump. Like, let that settle in. And good for Melania. Again, I find her despicable. I don't want to give, sing praises upon, oh, you're forgiven in my eyes. I will also say, gee, what a terrible thing it is when families are separated at borders. Can we let that one sit? It's bad to separate families at borders. It's bad to have children ripped from their parents. Can that be an acknowledgement of this administration? And maybe that applies to all of the world's children, children in Ukraine, children in Gaza, children in Mexico and America. Maybe we have a bit of humanity for people, or not, I guess. But the fact, Melania is more deserving of the Nobel Peace Prize. What the fuck? It is crazy to me. This is humiliating. That Donald Trump announced to the world that he is just now beefing up on the negotiations. He's just now starting to understand what's happening on the ground in Ukraine. And his wife has been working behind the scenes to be more successful than him. He is the president of the United States, and he is so unaware, he is so uncommitted to an outcome in which peace is achieved that Melania is doing the job for him. I talked about this when we discussed the peace deal that was allegedly going to be reached in the Middle East, and I said, do not let Donald Trump take the credit. He has no idea what's going on. But never has it been clearer that Donald Trump has no idea what is going on than Melania having to get it done. Insanity. Do I expect Donald Trump, now that it's been announced that he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize, to continue to care about peace and the sanctity of man and humanity? Of course not. He never did. This was trying to spin up some legacy for him, which isn't going to happen. Because while Donald Trump and all the right talk about how much they hate political violence and how much they want peace, he has declared war on us, on our cities, on our states, on anyone who looks different than ugly-ass Stephen Miller. And you know what? It's not working out too well. And we saw that in some reporting right here.
That's when it first happened. The pastor, we can report, is now suing ICE for multiple human rights, First Amendment constitutional violations, a pattern of extreme brutality, and arguing that this isn't just patrolling the streets for safety, which of course federal agents are generally allowed to do, but rather an effort to, quote, silence the press and civilians. Trump is on the attack against the Democratic governor there and the Chicago mayor, who've objected to exactly this type of use of force, the governor responding.
Look, he's a coward. He says a lot of things to the camera. He likes to pretend to be a tough guy. Come and get me. Come and get me. He's demented, literally, unhinged. And this is somebody who's so insecure that he lashes out pretending that he can come arrest people for no reason at all. He can't. He isn't going to do it. Taco. Trump always chickens out.
Democrats, you see there, hitting hard, and that's not just language, although it was tough language calling him demented. It is also substance, because the governor is doing what some Democrats previously have been accused of falling short on, facing the threat or deployment of what you see on your screen and hitting back in every possible way, publicly, verbally, politically, and in the courts. That is what Democrats now say might be necessary to push back on the federal powers you see in these multiple places. As for the general public, even in an environment where it seems some speech is chilled, the vast majority here, 58%, against these kind of deployments, especially when there's no apparent threat.
What Donald Trump is doing is so unpopular, and any person who cares about basic humanity should be moved to furious anger by it. So Democrats, please, I implore you, not just because it is morally right, but because it is politically right. And sometimes I feel like that's all people care about. Speak up, speak out, and say fuck. Say fuck this. Say fuck them. Please, I'm begging. We are going to, at least on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, and turn notifications on because we got a big announcement coming soon. Very excited about that. And if you want to watch me beat up on some MAGA idiots, check out my debate right there. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.